Out to CHL trainer, tactical trainer, veteran Marine Mac Mackinzie, to get his take on that video. Mac, what do you think? When is it too young to start training kids?
Well, you know what? That's a very good question, and I get that question a lot. And I really base that answer on maturity. I think the age limit is an important factor, but I believe parents know their children the best, and they need to base it on that mature factor. I've had very squared away 10-year-olds do an outstanding job, and then I've had 16-year-olds on the firing line that just can't handle the pressure. So I will tell you this: there's a very close family member, and she started handling that firearm at 3 years old under my supervision, because I trust her maturity.
Yeah, and I think that's the key, which gets back to my original comment. It should be left up to the parents to decide here, not the government to come in and make mandates of when kids can be handling firearms or more regulations.
Absolutely, I agree. Again, like I said, the parents know their children the best. And as long as they put a tremendous amount of safety and good supervision, I would definitely support that, no doubt.
All right, so one of the reasons we're having you on is one of our producers here, Denise Petty, went through a class that you put on, and I saw the video on her phone of you teaching this class, and I said to myself, this is not your average CHL class. You are actually teaching tactical techniques here, how to draw, techniques you'd actually use in real life, and in most CHL classes, you don't get that kind of instruction. What's the goal here by the class that you were putting on?
The number one goal is safety. Our biggest priority is safety. And man, I love Texas. I really do. A lot of guns here. One of the greatest places to live. But one of the concerns I do have is that they don't put a lot of emphasis on safe weapons handling. I think a lot of people put the emphasis on shooting, and they don't realize that handling that weapon on a regular basis is very, very important. There are four things that are very important to us. Number one is compliance. That's extremely important. Number two is safety. Number three, we're very, very passionate about what we do and how we do it. And number four is we want our classes to be educational. We want them to be fun. We want them to be exciting. But more importantly is we want the students leaving there knowing, wow, man, I really know how to handle my weapon. I learned something, and I can leave here with confidence. And that's what makes our courses different.
All right, so Mac, one of the things that I would like to see are all of your students and all gun owners out there going back to a class like this. So this is why I say when it comes to permitting for concealed handgun licenses, in many respects, you could throw the permitting process out the window, go straight to a constitutional carry, because if the government really thinks that a 5-hour class in Texas, most of it classroom, is going to prepare somebody to use their firearm in a real-life stressful situation in public, they're flat out wrong on that.
Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. And I'm going to say this very delicately, because there are quite a few people out there that won't necessarily agree. Unfortunately, there are a lot of people that just want to meet the minimum standards. And I think one of our goals is to put a lot of emphasis and to let people know, listen, if you are going to be carrying a firearm for self-defense purposes, to protect you or your family, you have to understand the commitment and the responsibility it's going to take to get the right type of training on a regular basis. And you're right, a 4 to 6 hour class is just not enough. And I want to reemphasize that. If you're going to make that commitment, you have to get adequate training. And that's why we go a step and be above and beyond. We want to make sure that people are going to learn at least the basics if they're going to go out there and carry on a regular basis, so they can represent all of us properly and accordingly.
I do believe, Mac, that concealed handgun license holders and really those committed to owning firearms are some of the most responsible, law-abiding citizens in America, and statistics will back that up. There's no doubt about it. The question I have for you is, how often should you be going back reasonably? Look, I know it would be great to practice every day if you could, but reasonably, someone who wants to carry in public, how often should they be practicing?
That's a great question. Every situation is different. My answer is as often as you can. I will tell people any chance you can prioritize, which is the most important thing. You got to set your priorities. You got to make time. You got to budget yourself. And you just got to do it. It's very hard. I tell people all the time, listen, you're going to spend time, money, energy, and emotion to be part of this class. Unfortunately, over 70% of what you're going to learn here today, you're going to forget in a week if you don't stay on top of it. So I tell my students all the time, if you're going to make that commitment, make sure that you prioritize. Make sure you find time, money, energy, emotion to get involved with it and have fun doing it. And doing it safely is very important.
How often do your students come back to you and take brusher up courses?
Man, unfortunately, only about 10%. But the 10% that are coming back, man, we are so blessed to have them part of our organization, and
Yeah.
we see just a huge improvement. I wish I had a full-time cameraman that could show somebody, hey, this was you at day one, this is you by the end of the day, or this is you 2 years later, and you just see a huge, huge difference.
Yeah.
And we're very proud of that.
You better believe. Well, it's great work you're doing out there, Mac Mackenzie. Thank you so much for doing it. Thanks for your service to this nation as well. It was great to have you on.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You guys take care.